Okay, one final question before we kind of draw to a close, but one that always comes up: where did Cain get his wife from? Are we saying that it was the humans outside of the garden?
I think it's the people outside the garden. Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, I don't think Scripture tells us that, but there are so many details in those passages that you have to do backflips over those passages to come away thinking it wasn't someone outside the garden. Now, some people will just say all of it's metaphorical at this point, anyways. Okay, so if that's what you're going to do, then you're kind of not really caring what the script text says precisely, so you can get away with just about anything. I mean, other people try and kind of slice and dice and turn around, put gaps everywhere, which, I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, maybe that's what happened, but then they won't tolerate it in other places of Scripture. So then it just seems like they're kind of breaking their own hermeneutical rules. So, but I think the most simple reading is, which also kind of appears in the Genesis tradition really early on, too, and a lot of people wondering out for a long time, is that, there was just people out there. There was an inside and outside the garden, and there was people outside there, and that doesn't threaten theology in any way. Now we just have a more full view from the point of view of science and Scripture.
Because Cain was definitely frightened of somebody out there, wasn't he?
Yeah, so some people would say, well, he was just confused in a sinful state, but then you have to look at it and realize that God himself endorses his fear by putting a mark on him. He says, yeah, I guess maybe you do have someone to be worried about. Let me kind of give you someone to protect you. Why would he do that if the guy was just kind of a mad or hallucinating stuff? I mean, you kind of go down the list, and that's just one detail. I list out several in my book where, I mean, you just have all these big questions. I've seen all the ways that young earth creationists try to make sense of this. I'm not convinced. I mean, maybe I can grant that if you squint really hard, you can come away with the view that there were people outside, but you got to do so many backflips that there's an inconsistency about how they're doing all the backflips there, but then they won't allow any flexibility in their interpretation of Genesis 1. And I think that's a really good signal that this isn't about hermeneutics for many of them. It's really maybe a more a prejudged conclusion that they're reading into Scripture.
Yeah.